Hello, good morning, everybody. Can you hear me? Hello, Tess, New Zealand, Alice, Lori. Just gonna go through here. All right, lots of new names today. Thank you. Awesome. How's everybody doing? You guys hear me okay? I'm excited to be here today. I don't know if you can see that. Let me put this around a little bit. There we go. I have a chai latte with a shot of espresso today. Super excited about it, mostly just because of where I am. Here we go. This is the Steveston Coffee Company out here in Steveston. Hello, hello. So good morning, everybody. We start officially in a couple of minutes here. How are we all doing today? And as usual, if you don't have it in your handle, moniker, where you are, um, let me know where you're from. I just like to know where everybody's from. How are we doing? Those of you who are on any of my social media, hey, Larry, welcome. Memphis, Tennessee guide. I've been to Tennessee or to Memphis a couple of times and Nashville several times. I think I was on your tour last week. Yeah. I'm excited for today. It's one of the first times I think I've done like kind of a sort of themed coffee walks and history talk tour in that I could actually rest kind of on the theme of a little bit of today's topic, which is going to be a mixture of things about Houston and things about a little bit of history on the show, Once Upon a Time. So if you've watched that, we're going to show you the town, or I'm going to show you the town today. So I was giggling when I got dressed this morning. I have these leggings that have silhouettes of princesses on them. Primarily, I think it's like the usual suspects have Cinderella and Belle and Ariel, probably Snow White and a couple of the others. So yeah, it's just a good day. It's beautiful outside today. Again, there's my coffee. Actually a chai latte, and they did the whole latte art and everything, which I love. So I'm just gonna show that to you guys as I start to drink it. We're gonna sit here for a couple of minutes, then I'll show you how adorable this little coffee shop is, and then we will head out on tour. So I'm just gonna get out my little note cards in case I feel like I need them. I want to use them. As I do, and it just started to get busy in here, so this is probably very well timed. All right. Um, Sorry, I'm just going to take a quick look through. And ooh, that's a terrible noise. All right, so welcome. If you haven't been here before, I am Adventures with Kelly, and we are out here in beautiful, gorgeous, sunny Steveston today. And it is a whopping 12 degrees Celsius today, according to my phone, which means it is about 53 degrees Fahrenheit. So I have a pretty lovely day. It is a bit chilly, so not so looking forward to that part of it, but it's going to be fun. So if you haven't been on this tour before, I usually, my whole concept is with this tour, I want to show that there's so much more to Vancouver than just going to Stanley Park, going to Captain Suspension Bridge, going to Granville Island, although those are places I love. If you're here, especially if you travel like I do, you kind of like to do a few of the main things, but you also kind of want to like get out and do some cool stuff. You want to have stories to go home with, not the same ones that everybody else has different So we're just going to sit there for a little minute, and I have a couple of sips of my, thanks, Steph. Yeah, this will be another good one. There's actually maybe a little one or two crossover moments between here and the tour I did in Fort Langley a couple of weeks ago. So um, yeah, so this is a chai tea latte with a shot of espresso. So I got up nice and early to be here today, and I only just made like an instant coffee, a Starbucks instant coffee before I left the house. So I didn't want to brew a whole pot, and so now I'm having a chai tea latte, but with a shot of espresso just to kick things in a high gear a little bit. I hope you are all doing amazingly well. Good morning, Kim. Good morning, Andrew. And so here we are in Steveston. Hey, Marty, welcome. And this is a town that was founded in 1880, so about 6 years before Vancouver. And it was supposed to be a rival city to Vancouver. So if you've been on some of my tours last summer, we went up to New Westminster. New Westminster was the first big city in British Columbia. And when I was at a display at a museum, they were talking about how it was a really big thing to take the streetcar from New Westminster all the way into Vancouver, into the new city for the day. And so here we are now in Steveston today, and this is a city that was founded about 6 years before Vancouver became an official city, right before the big fire of Vancouver. This city had a fire too, I believe, in 1917. So I'm going to take another sip, and we're going to get up, and I'm going to show you how cute this little shop is. And we're going to head out and go explore the town. Yay! If you are if you're a Once Upon a Time fan, you'll see the town today. We might talk a little bit about things. To be honest, I just started watching the show a little while ago. But I did have done a lot of reading probably over the last 6 months, here and there about the show, because I thought, oh, it might be really fun to do just to kind of test the waters and see how it would go with a coffee shop and history walk where we show a little bit about Once Upon a Time, and then maybe that might lead up to a tour that's a little more in depth when I've actually finished watching the series, uh, and know more about it. The funny part is I was thinking as I was getting ready for today, um, I've actually tried to watch Once Upon a Time 3 different times. I've tried to start the series, and it just wasn't happening. I couldn't get into it past the first show. And then I was laughing, thinking about, the TV show Nashville that was on a few years back. I had to watch that first episode 3 times before I suddenly just got totally hooked on the show and loved it. So, yeah, I'm gonna get up and get going in just a moment, but I just want to take a few moments, have a sip of my coffee, then I'll show you guys how cute this shop is. It is a very little shop, so everybody's very close by, and then we'll get out on the street. I just want to show you how cute everything is, so I'm going to turn this around, and I think people are coming in also for their morning coffee, so it's a very boisterous cottage. So here we go. So this is what story I just got. Hold it, trying to pick it up a little bit. This is the Steveston Coffee Company. It is also known as, it was on the show, as the Storybook Coffee Company. And we are just going to head out in a moment. They do a little ode to Once Upon a Time. Let me zoom in for a moment here. There we go. Once Upon a Time. I've heard there's all little references to the show and stuff all over the town. And then this is the wall. Very cool. I think this would be a good place to just kind of come in and sit and hang out for a bit. I feel like I could sit and write some tour ideas and stuff here. That would be kind of fun. So very, 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 very cute. In fact, I'll show you the little booth that I was sitting in. Right here, I just have a little corner booth. Right? I love the whole chalk thing. It's actually one of the first ones I've been to that had something like that. It's such a big chalkboard. There we go. Cute little sign there. And we're going to make our way out. There we are. And they have a little selection of baked goodies to enjoy. Ooh, walnut shortbread cookie. That reminds me of my childhood. They also have, which I thought, oh, no, I might come back after the tour and get something to go. They have grilled cheese sandwiches on cranberry bread. So that to me sounds so delicious. I don't know if you're all grilled cheese fanatics like I am. All right, here we are. How about, trying to think of the best way to do this. Maybe we'll walk one down one side and up the other. I know, grilled cheese on cranberry bread just sounds absolutely amazing to me. So let me see if I can get a little bit of a front of the shop here for you. Now, I was going to bring you guys out here a couple of weeks ago when I did the Fort Langley one, but they had everything shut down because, not everything, but one block, because they were filming the TV show So Help Me Todd, which made me laugh because that's my cousin who you've heard me talk about. I always love to mock Hallmark movies because I love them, honestly. And uh, so my cousin is a Hallmark movie actor, Clayton James, and he's on this show, So Help Me Todd. And they had things shut down so that they could do some filming here. So I was like, oh, let's not risk it. That sounds a little bit crazy. So here we are. We are on the main street of Storybrooke, Maine, from the TV show Once Upon a Time. We're going to do a little walk for a couple of blocks, see what we can see. We'll see what you guys recognize. There's supposed to be a bunch of different places. So this is, of course, like I said, one of them, the Steveston Coffee Company, which was known as the Steveston Coffee Company. They didn't get too far off the regular names of the businesses. And this is 3511 Moncton Street. And Moncton is the name of this main strip. Now, when I was coming in on the bus, I had a few good little giggles because there's actually some little houses. Like there's obviously new development. I mean, the city was founded in 1880. You know, there's some older houses still tucked among the big ones. But there was one that totally reminded me of a little storybook house that something, it wasn't quite the same size, but it was very similar. If you've ever watched, is it a Cinderella story with Hilary Duff? The house, of kind of a miniature version of that house. So I think what we'll do is we'll go up the main street here for a couple of blocks, and then maybe we'll head down closer to the water. And if you have some questions, of course, drop it in the chat. I do like the fact that the chat is blue. It works for me because then I can see your questions a little better. And I believe this here is also, I love that everything's still just kind of like it was older. They kept it all in I don't want to say theme, stumbling over my words. The name of this town that we're in right now is Steveston, also referred to as Steveston Village. It's part of the city of Richmond, and it's about as far out of Vancouver and Richmond as you can possibly get without standing in the water. Oh my goodness, I love old trucks. Yes, like the coffee. Steveston Village. Now, I can't remember when I was reading, I love these old trucks. Reading about the difference, because when we were in Fort Langley, there's like the township of Langley, then it was like Langley Village, and there's the city of Langley, and there was a specific, was it something like, oh, I had the number three, I can't remember, it was like three, if it's under 3,000 people or something, then it's like a, I don't know, a village or a town or, yeah. There's a lot of stats to learn when you're a tour guide. I try to learn them all. And sometimes I think, oh, I'm totally going to remember that. And then I don't write it down. And then those are the things that I do forget. It's kind of like, I don't know, oh, Fab Pad. That sounds kind of cool. Antique store. Um, do you guys, are any of you like that where if you write something down and you see yourself write it down, like actually watch yourself write it, then I have a better chance of just remembering it super easily without even trying, which is why I try to do note cards on all of my tours. It's not the same effect if I um, type it. I know when you're typing it, you see it, but there's something about writing it by hand. You are staying at a hotel here in Steveston next month? Which hotel? All right. Oh, I love old things. Oh, and we're coming up. I know we're coming up on a big, right? Something about handwriting. Look at this window with all the old fashioned artifacts in it. Richmond accent near the airport. Oh my gosh. I actually had a job interview at that accent in a couple of months ago, but they were looking for full time and I didn't want full time because I need to have time to do tours and fun things. All right, here we go. Once upon a time fans, or as I'm told, you refer to yourselves as oncers or something. This is, let me see if I can get back of it. The Cannery Cafe, which I believe is Granny's Diner. I've actually seen all this stuff on the show now. I'm just trying to remember the actual bits. I'm going to go ahead out on the street and take an actual, see if I can get you some good footage of it. It's not a super crazy busy town. So we go. Oh, and this is Storybrooks Country Bread is the same as this one here, the Romania Country Bread. Probably people are like, oh, another stupid person taking pictures. Whatever. We're having fun here today. I don't care. River Rock Casino Resort. Yeah. There's actually Tess. Have I mentioned yet? You're staying out in Richmond, right near the River Rock, where Heidi's mentioning. That got a good picture. I'm just trying to get a good shot of this for you guys. On the other side of the Canada Line track, from Bridgeport Station, from River Rock Hotel. Okay, I'm going to give you another moment or two. On the other side of the track, there is an amazing restaurant, ironically called the Story Cafe. And it has the best food. It is my new favorite spot to go for brunch. This is all just so cute here. I'm gonna just do a up and down shot. So I'm gonna flip the camera around. I just wanted to warn you guys. There we go. There we are. Good morning to anybody joining us right now. We're just in Steveston Village, also known as Storybrooke, Maine, if you were a fan of the Once Upon a Time show. Yes, the Story Cafe. Thank you, Heidi. And it's adorable inside. They have like old fashioned typewriters mounted on the wall and pictures of Audrey Hepburn and Marilyn Monroe. And it's in an old, like a mechanic garage. They do like farm to table, and the coffee is delicious, the service is fantastic, and the food is amazing. And it's probably going to be, not going to lie, it's going to be about $20 to $25 a plate for like your basic breakfast or like eggs benny, things like that. But it's going to be so good. And it's pretty, you just have to kind of walk around the SkyTrain station and stuff like that. But I don't know where it is in terms of Accent Inns, but it's right out there at Bridgeport, right close to Bridgeport Station. And speaking of getting out here, this is so easy to get to because I live in Vancouver. I got myself to the Canada Line station and took the Canada Line all the way out to Richmond Brig House, so not the airport, the other line. And look at this beautiful garden. I'm going to go in. And then once I got to Richmond Brig House, I went to Bay 3 and I got on the 401 and it dropped me off about a block away from Steveston Coffee Company. So it's all very transitable here. What a pretty little park. This might actually, well, I'll know when I get to the front of the building. This could be one of the parks they used in Once Upon a Time as well. Yeah. Did the cafe sell in 2021? Do you mean the Story Cafe? I'm not sure. I've been out there a couple of times since the pandemic started. There we go. Ooh, somebody has like a little disco ball on their back porch there. Oh, the Cannery Cafe. A lot of the businesses here have sold in the last little bit. Um, one of the, I think it's there is a gelato shop that they used to use for Mr. Gold's pawn shop. And it used to be something before it was a gelato shop. And I have read that a few of these businesses have indeed over the last few years sold, which of course with the pandemic is understandable. Just saw all these little white picket fence in our little garden here. The other thing that's kind of historic about today is today is the 29th of March, and a few years back, the mayor of Richmond declared today Once Upon a Time Day. So we're actually here doing a little tour of Storybook, Maine on the city of Richmond's Once Upon a Time day to acknowledge the whole filming. And here we are. This is the Steveston Museum. So yes, the park next to the Steveston Museum was actually one of the parks used, I think that Henry used to play at, they said. Ugh, Michael, gentrification or like progress, whatever you want to call it, I hate it. Um, I love old stuff. I love old things. Let's take a little walk up here. I love that there's still wooden sidewalks here. If you come here, I believe between like June and September, their little tourist information booth here actually has walking maps where you can go out and do your own self-guided tour of Storybook, Maine. I think that's so cute. And I think they also sell souvenirs from the stores or from the show. And I've heard that some of the shops here also do have um, souvenirs that you can get. So originally, this was like a wine making shop here. And so originally this was a little fishing village. Ooh, intuitive reader here today. Very cool. Crystal shop. Ooh, I like this. Little blue star in the middle there. Welcome to anybody just joining in. We are in Steveston Village, also known as Storybook, Maine, from the Once Upon a Time TV show. And of course, there was a spin-off of Once Upon a Time in Wonderland. There's another show. I've never gotten into the movie, but I love the Cheshire Cat. Somebody please explain how I can not like the movie, but I love a character from it. Oh, thank you, Ralph. Village. There was so many options of coffee shops to go to here that I had a really hard time picking a fun one. Yes. So yes, we are in Steveston Village, which is a part of Richmond and south of Vancouver. It's very close to the United States, actually. We've got a cute little. Oh my gosh! Look at this giraffe with the bubbles. Oh, Heidi, when my best friend just moved to Calgary a year ago, and I'm trying to figure out when I can come and visit her. And we're looking for places to go for afternoon tea and all this fun stuff. Is it okay to bring my camera in here for a second? Thank you. Oh, I'm good. I just thought I'd show them that we're in a cute little adorable sweet shop here. Huh? Oh, sure. Yeah. Well, it's actually a live video. I'm a tour guide. And so I'm just doing a little tour around Steveston today. Yeah. Absolutely. Sure. So we've got all different kinds of candies. Anybody see their favorite candy here? Oh, Warheads. My friend's kids used to eat those like crazy. I love Pop Rocks. There was a restaurant here in Vancouver that used to do martinis with Pop Rocks around the rim. We tried one just for fun, and we may have had a couple more after that. Kind of like the old days of the penny candy. And here we go. Steveston Sweet Shop is where we are right at the moment in this super cute little town. Saltwater taffy, you got it. Fun dip. And the super cute little mural at the back of the store. Oh, never heard of is it Palomine chocolate bars? Huh. Sorry, where are they? Palomine? Yeah, or Palo. Oh, there we go. We found them. Yeah, she said from New Brunswick or something. Very cool. It's good to be. Oh, and then. Oh, okay. I just saw these fruity pebbles. Birthday cake, candy bars. That's a whole lot of sugar in a bar. Oh, you've got the Goo Goo Cluster, the Grand Ole Opry clusters here. I got somebody on my tour from Memphis today. So. All right. This is a pretty. Yeah. Oh, here we go. Wow, moon pies. There we go. A little bit of something for everybody here today. Very fun. I know, right? Just make a few orders for you. That would be great. Well, you never know. Maybe they'll all come to town and stop by. Yes, Charleston shoes. Oh, I used to get those stuck in my teeth so bad, but they were good. All right. You spotted the chicken bones. Awesome. You guys don't miss a thing. Oh, we've got Fruit Loop cereal straws here. Very fun. Oh, and cowtails. Oh my gosh. One of my friends and I used to buy cowtails for each other all the time. Awesome. Here we go. Jones Soda. Oh, I could tell stories about Jones Soda on our trip to LA. That was crazy. All right. Fun stuff. Thanks so much for letting us tour around. All right, there we go. Thank you. Yeah, maybe. Steveston Sweet Shop. I love it when people are all like, come on in. And here is let me see if I can go in a little closer here. There we go. Steveston Sweet Shop. Such a fun little spot. I find the little independent candy stores are just so great and so fun. Because they just they're there for a purpose, right? I mean, Sweet Factory and those places were okay, but it was always all just the same stuff. We've got Steveston's best of British shop here. And even the new construction out here across the street here is like cute and has charm and character. You gotta like that when they just you gotta build new buildings and have new things. But when they can keep it all quaint and sweet, um, it just makes it feel more like a community, don't you think? Here we go. Here comes a big truck. Not in the mood to be run over today. We'll let him do his thing. Here we go. So, and you can see all the way down this road here. After that, there is water. Now we're going to cross the street here. And head back down and continue our tour of Moncton Street when we turn left. For those who were on my tour a few weeks ago. Oh, here's another one. The Sweet Spot. Another coffee shop. I feel like Steveston is like mostly coffee shop. Which is why I found it so hard to pick one. And I thought that the one I had picked was the one that had a Once Upon a Time themed drink. But I don't know if maybe they took it off the menu or what happened. But I thought they were supposed to have a Black Swan latte, but I didn't see it on the menu. Maybe it was another shop. We've got a tattoo company, Steveston Tattoos. That's when you know it's a well developed community. When they have a tattoo shop in the town. All right, heading back to the main street. I just love cute little buildings and cute little places. And I think it's kind of ironic because I loved living downtown for years in Vancouver. And I was the kind of gal who needed like concrete and bright lights. But I guess as I've aged, I also blame it on New Orleans. I have this deep appreciation for smaller towns and that sense of community. And I guess when I think back about it, the areas I've lived in Vancouver have all kind of had that. They've had a little, oh, thank you, Eva, sense of community about them where, you know, they talk a lot when you read about the history of Vancouver about how everything was like, they were these little communities where they could do everything like self-sufficient. So you would have your dry cleaners and your car mechanics and your grocery stores and your butchers and all of that. And I guess that's what I like is being in a big city, but also in a city that has, or in an area that is kind of self-sufficient, where you can do everything in your neighborhood and get to know everybody. This is cute. Brunch bar, toast to coast. What a great little name. Oh man, the next time I go for brunch with my friend Jen, I think we're coming out here and trying toast to toast. It just looks so cute. Steveston bookstore. Yeah, and I'm seeing some places here that are boarded up. Oh, the one that says not safe to occupy. That's so good. A monkey tree emporium. See if you can see in the window here. I like the bumblebee, happy cushion. And these, oh, I love these. The old fashioned like mock tin cups always makes me think of like maybe it's not the right era, but kind of a little bit like Little House on the Prairie. I guess that was more of like a tin cup. But I have some white ones that my mom got at a fundraiser that I love and I stole from her. This would be the perfect doormat for me. A nice big heart on it. Today is not a shopping day. But I may have to come back. I did like how the coffee shop had that little, just like little once upon a time board. Oh, here we go. These are the things I love. Now, if you were on the Fort Langley tour, um, Cabbagetown, Toronto is like that little place. Which part of Toronto is Cabbagetown, Nicole? So if you were on my tour of Fort Langley a couple of weeks ago, we found some little spots like this with lantern lights or string lights and everything. But it just reminded me our crossover from here to there is if you were on that tour at Fort Langley, remember the big yellow building with the white pillars? That is actually the town hall for Storybrooke. So it is a long ways away from here, but that is where they did their town hall. And of course, a lot of this show is also filmed in a studio in Burnaby as well. So I'll just give you a shot back at the street that we've just walked along. How on earth do you Roncesvalles? Oh, I'm not even trying. Let's say that. Oh my goodness. Cabbagetown is 12 blocks north of Yonge and Bloor. Oh, I think I might have gone to Cabbagetown. I have not been to Toronto since '89. That's the only time I've been to Toronto. It's 1989. That's it. And I had a blast. Oh my gosh, I loved it. I actually have been kind of thinking one of my friends wants me to come visit her in Ottawa, and I might need to go to Toronto too. And then I was like, oh my goodness, what if I could do um nice. It makes me, what was I saying? Oh, it makes me think that because like Degrassi is such a Vancouver thing, or not Vancouver, Toronto thing, like a very the TV show 90210 was like done off of Degrassi. They wanted to buy it. They wouldn't sell the show. So they made their own. And Degrassi is just like iconic Canadian TV. And I loved that show so much. And when I did go to Toronto, I went back and did all the Degrassi sites and stuff. And I'm all of a sudden now kind of like, wonder if 13 Busy Street is still there. I wonder if I could do a Degrassi tour in Toronto for like a day, or maybe do like a two-parter, Degrassi Junior High, figure out where all those places were. Here's a fun little spot. Lara's Vacuums. What a cute sign. Oh my goodness. Now, the Degrassi school is still there. Are you meaning like Degrassi Junior High, the kids? What Degrassi school are you talking about? There was a few of them. I don't think I ever made it to the school, but do I need to push a button? I think I do. I did make it to the Playing with Time production office, and on the day that I went there, they were all coming in to get their scripts for the next filming. And I found out the reason they were always wearing shorts and t-shirts in the show is because they filmed the show in summer when the kids were out of school primarily. That just cracks me right up. What city is this? Yes, Joyce. We are in Steveston Village, which is part of the city of Richmond. So Richmond is a big city south of Vancouver, and Steveston is a little teeny tiny corner of it. So this is where we're just going to do some regular Steveston tourism stuff. This is the old Steveston tram. So they of course had streetcars for transportation out here, being that it was founded in 1880, 6 years before the city of Vancouver. And I just love Steveston Village. Yeah. I just love the fact that Steveston here was supposed to be this great rival to Vancouver. And I am in no way making fun of anyone or anything. I'm just saying, like, it's a tiny, tiny little area. And Vancouver is a much bigger city. So maybe if Vancouver had only been the downtown core, then we truly could have been rivals. But also thinking back to back then, like, who knew what Vancouver was going to become, right? So, lofty goals. I think it might be a little bit, kind of, you mostly just see the buildings behind us. Let me see if I can find somewhere we can actually, nope, this is still showing the buildings behind. Here's a little replica of the streetcar right here. Yeah. How is the city spelled? For Steveston? Steveston. So the founding family was the Steves family. So I guess they just got adventurous and tagged on the TON at the end to make it Steveston Village. So we are, I can't see anything. Sorry guys, I was trying to get you a little look at this streetcar here. But the window, well, there's kind of a weird, like, behind me, but also the streetcar inside kind of view going on here. Let me see if I can pull it out of it. Oh, thank you, Tess. Best laid plans. Well, there we go. I'm trying to show you guys the streetcar. Maybe we'll try the other side. We've got, we'll go around the back way because we've got some cherry blossoms. We got a kids park here. Crazy, crazy fun. We have a little train. Of course, you've been on my tours before. You know I used to work at Rocky Mountaineer, so I can be a little obsessed with trains at times. try not to get too much of the kids. Here we go. Cherry blossom trees right here. How lovely. I did do a write up, and I'm going to try and get out this week to do a little bit of couple of little cherry blossom walks. Just kind of a casual little walk along streets filled with cherry blossoms. I thought that might be kind of fun over the next week or so while they're in full bloom here. Welcome anybody joining in now. We are out in Steveston Village in the city of Richmond. We're here on a very apropos day. If you're a fan of the TV show Once Upon a Time, this is where it was filmed for 6 seasons. The 7th season was actually filmed primarily in Seattle in fictitious Hyperion Heights. And I believe the 7th season is when my favorite princess, Tiana, joined the show. Otherwise, I'm sure I would have heard of there of Princess Tiana being in Vancouver and would have hunted her down. So the mayor of Richmond, so Steveston is a little village inside Richmond or on the edge of Richmond. And the mayor of Richmond proclaimed March 29th to be Once Upon a Time Day here in the Steveston, Richmond area. So that's why we are out here today and enjoying this cute little town, learning a little bit about the city or the village of Steveston, which was primarily a fishing village back in the day, being it's right on the water, and learning or seeing some of the sights from that beautiful TV show, Once Upon a Time. I like that when I was reading about the show, they were talking about how they did things like Peter Pan was originally a dark character in the original version, and so they made him a little bit darker, but then like the good characters became bad or a little bit dark or whatever, and then the dark characters became kind-hearted, and they kind of flipped things around. So then when I was reading that, I was like, I'm going to give this show another shot and see if I can totally get into it. Also, just it's kind of fun to live in Vancouver where there's so many shows that were filmed in the area. In fact, the last time that I was in, oh, I forgot to push the button. The last time that I was in Memphis, my bestie and I had afternoon tea at the Peabody Hotel, which is my favorite hotel. It's a lot similar to our Fairmont Hotel Vancouver in that it had multiple locations too before it settled on where it is now. And we went to see the ducks and do all the cool things you do in Memphis. And we had afternoon tea at the Peabody. And at the very next table, there was I guess a regular recurring role actress. We were trying to figure out who she was, but we couldn't. She played a recurring role on Riverdale, sitting to the next table from us, having afternoon tea as well, which looked like a whole little lovely brunch with her whole family. Very cool. Oh, this was the other coffee shop. I was going to go to this one. Maybe we'll cross over and walk down on that side. Now that I'm a guide, I want to go back to all the cities I've been to, Laurie. Like all of them. I want to go back to Nashville. I want to go back to Memphis. I want to go back to Savannah. I want to go back to Austin and San Antonio and Dallas. And all these cool places. I want to have coffee everywhere and do cool things and see fun things. So this is Rocanini, and they have one in Yaletown. And I went there probably 2 years ago, just because it was kind of cool and it was near my studio. I used to do that bar fitness stuff with the ballet bars. I was terrible at it, so I gave it up. But they just had a fun, funky little spot, and they had a picture of Audrey Hepburn in their coffee shop, and I'm a sucker for anything Audrey Hepburn. This is just a cool little coffee shop. Almost was going to come here, and then I'm glad I picked the Steveston Coffee Company, and I thought, well, if we're celebrating once upon a time today, it probably makes sense to go to the Storybook Coffee Company and start the tour there. Oh, this is okay. I wonder if this is maybe not the gelato shop. The first time I went to Memphis, I vowed I was never going back. And then I went back like 8 years later. I just had a really rough experience the first time. um, can't remember if this is the spot or not. I'm just going to check my notes. Let me give you a view to look at while I go through my notes first. See if this is what used to be the pawn shop. I feel like it was on Moncton. Thank you for indulging me a moment to go through my notes, see if I can find it. Oh, that's so sweet, Hari. We we could have some fun, I think, doing a tour together. I think our tour styles, sorry, are a little bit similar.
Well, yeah, she doesn't know that anybody.
Just trying to see if I can find somewhere quickly that talks about where Mr. Gold's pawn shop was. My writing might be a little bit messy today. I was doing my notes about 4 or 5 different days, hanging out on my break at work and things like that, and now I'm like, where was it? Okay, so Steveston Coffee Company, not what I was looking for, but it was supposed to be the Henry and Emma's special hot chocolate with cinnamon. That's what they had there, but they didn't have it. Village Books. Dark Swan Latte was at Village Books. We passed there. No, I'm not seeing my notes here where I wrote it. Well, I think we can carry on. I'll get a shot anyways of the street for you guys. There was just so much interest. The cannery. I don't know Steveston that well. Am I headed in the direction of the cannery? I am such a city girl. This has been good for me to like branch out to like Port Langley and Steveston and things like that. And I'm waiting to see. So on Wednesdays and Saturdays, I keep my days booked off from Lego so that I can possibly pick up shifts at BC Place and Rogers Arena for kind of auxiliary staffing. And so I'm waiting to see if I get a shift next Wednesday. Oh, this is cute as well. Because if I don't, I might head out to White Rock next Wednesday for the day. Oh, okay. Cannery. Oh, Cannery. Oh, the Cannery Cafe was back down Moncton Street. We'll probably circle back around to that. Look at these. Look at these 2 random pigs. So cute. Little bench. There we go. Just so cute here. I love it. I'm gonna do a up and down shot just because I think this is really kind of cool right here. So give me 2 seconds and let her pass by. We're gonna flip it around. There we go. And go back a little bit. There we go. That's kind of a cool shot. We've got the old fashioned clock. It says right on it, Steveston Village. And then the building to the right with a cool little light. And then maybe even go in a little bit, see if we can get a closer look for that Steveston village on the clock. Historic. They did do, it's on the National Historic Registry as well, which is pretty cool. All right, I'm going to flip it around. We're going to keep on going, my friends. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. There we are. And there's a long shot of it as well, with a power line in the background. How beautiful is that? All right. Here we are. I'll get you guys down closer to the water. Are these little like hidden buildings? That doesn't have a fairy tale feel to it with all the ivy on it, right? That doesn't scream storybook. Little garden center here. I think there was a garden center on the show as well. There was kind of, I guess, like the main stores of the show, and then things that kind of came and went in different seasons. I like how they did like backstories of characters and really just played on all the magic. I'm such a sucker for anything with magic. Hey, look, there's a Starbucks. Surprise. A Starbucks in Vancouver. Well, we're not in Vancouver. We are very south of Vancouver. We are an hour bus ride. It's about how long it took me to get out here today. It was about an hour on the bus and SkyTrain, which is pretty good. I don't know how much it costs because I have a bus pass for the month for Vancouver, but I did have to do an add-on to come out here on the train. Let's find a nice little spot to check out the water. Oh, I've got another question. And the sun is in my way. Let me see if I can move somewhere. Can I walk from Accent Hotel to this? Probably not, Tess. Although in a lot of information, they'll make it sound like the airport is very close to Richmond and Steveston. It's actually not. You would most likely need to hop on a bus. I never went to an actual interview for Accent Inn, so I don't know exactly where it is, but most of those things are central to Richmond Center, the mall, and or there's kind of another area of Richmond that there's a lot of hotels. And ironically, a lot of the airport hotels are nowhere near the airport, really. um, we're a little bit of a backwards city. Yes, we are very much south of Vancouver. So we are right down at the water now. And I'm going to zoom in a little bit, see if you can see those kind of mountain ranges in the background. There we go. We've got to look at the boat in the picture for a bit of a cool picture here as well. It's probably a bit grainy just because I've blown it up so much, so I'll go back out one. Just wanted you guys to have a variety of postcard shots today here. Much like the city of White Rock, where I want to go to hopefully next time, Steveston is known for fish and chips. People do come out here to eat fish and chips. There is all kinds of restaurants. There is, shoot, I've forgotten the name. There's a particular, is it Pedro's? fish and chips that was Storybrooke Fish and Chips. And I think there's a few locations of it. And the main one, they are actually closing, I think this month or next month or something. I'm going to assume it could be part of a casualty of the pandemic. Who really knows? Very lovely and peaceful down here. We have a lovely walkway. But yes, there's some fish and chip places that are right on the water, and it's just so nice to come down here. It's actually warmer than I thought it was going to be. I am very happy about this. I actually kind of feels a little bit like New West when I went out and we found that world's largest toy soldier last summer. Um, yeah, I would say it's super easy to take the bus out here. Um, about a block away from Steveston Coffee Company, where I started the tour, is where their bus exchange is. So, like, all the buses that leave um, from Richmond Breakhouse Station at the end of the Canada line in Richmond, not the airport one, but the Richmond Breakhouse. A lot of those buses all come out here. They just have different ways. So, like, there's like a number 6 bus or like a 406 that goes along, I think, 6th Ave or something. I took the 401, which goes up number 1 road for a while. And I mean, the other nice thing about doing city buses is it's quite economical, but you also get to see more of the cities and the neighborhoods rather than like hopping in an Uber and just going straight there. I travel by bus a lot. In fact, I primarily travel by bus, which is why I called my own company Girl on the Bus Adventures. And I feel like you get to understand the cities more, you get a feel for the neighborhoods. And then if you're going somewhere and you're going through a neighborhood and you're like, yeah, I don't know, I might want to come for dinner here, you can kind of suss out the neighborhood a little bit and be like, yeah, this is where I want to come for dinner later. Yeah, no, I think there's other places I'd like to go to or see or try. Okay, I've got a question. Or do I? You had one day to visit a town in Vancouver. Would this be the best town to visit? Ooh, Tess, that is such a good question. Um, hmm, this could be fun. If you were going to do like a foodie day, you could come out here and walk around. Um, the other thing, this is kind of cool here. I mean, Fort Langley was pretty amazing. I loved Fort Langley, but that's almost a 2-hour bus ride from Vancouver. Yeah, but I also do love it. Granville Island, but also like there's the whole like shipyards district in Lonsdale Quay in North Vancouver. So if you were going to do stuff in North Van, like Grouse Mountain, Capilano Suspension Bridge, or the free Lynn Canyon Suspension Bridge, it's kind of a cool shot here. You could go and hang out at the waterfront. There's Waterfront Park. You could pick up food from Lonsdale Quay and go sit in the park. You could like walk around the shipyards, sit there for a coffee, take the sea bus across from Vancouver. I actually usually recommend if you're going to North Van, take the 240 bus down Georgia and over into North Van to Central Lonsdale, and then take the bus down Lonsdale or walk down Lonsdale. It's a hill, but it's downhill going that way, and then hang out down at the shipyards district with like, I mean, depends on who you're coming with. There's breweries, there's all kinds of cool restaurants and stuff. Um, and then you could take the sea bus back right into downtown Vancouver. That's cool too. Um, Yeah, like there's so many cool little pockets in Vancouver of places to go. Um, just trying to think if you could connect Steveston, like do a morning and part of the afternoon in Steveston and then head somewhere else. Well, I mean, you could, if you're going to hop back on the Canada line, you actually could head all the way back to North Van. To catch the Canada line all the way back down to Waterfront Station, hop on the sea bus, get a beautiful ride across the harbor there, and then hang out for dinner down at the Shipyards District. So that's kind of cool too. We're just going to walk back through some of the newer architecture and wind our way through. I didn't even realize I was watching the signal, I was watching the chat, I was watching the sidewalk. I was not watching the time. It wouldn't be me doing a tour if I wasn't going over my time. Um, how are we all doing? Do we feel like we had a good little visit in Storybrooke today? Would it be worth me delving further into it and doing like a full tour on it? Is it expensive to rent an apartment in Vancouver? Yes. Vancouver is very expensive. It's not a topic I talk a lot about, but I will give you an illustration. I live in the city of Vancouver. I live in a studio apartment in a mid-century modern building that has not been updated, meaning the electrical outlets are not updated. They're still the same 5 that were in the apartment when it was built. The bathroom has been modernized. The kitchen, minus a few appliances, is exactly the same. And thank you, Larry. I pay $1,100 a month for a 450 square foot studio apartment in an old building in a very beautiful part of town. I live in Vancouver. And so I have very cheap rent. When I tell people what I pay, they're like, how on earth did you get a place for that cheap? An average studio apartment is about $1,700 a month, average. So, yes. Which is why I have multiple jobs. Oh, and UBC is such a city now, too. Art gallery, botanical garden, anthropology museum. Yeah, that's like, and you could take like one of the, like the number 4 bus out there or the Broadway bus and like see, because like 4th Avenue is a pretty cool little shopping district and full of like restaurants and cool spots. One of the older neighborhoods of Vancouver outside of downtown Vancouver. So I'm just going to throw out my coffee cup. All right, my friends, I'm going to flip this camera around so you can see my beautiful face. All right, here we go. Here we are. Hey! Yeah. So here we are, Storybrooke, Maine. Steveston Village, on Once Upon a Time Day declared by the Mayor of Richmond several years back. For a show that filmed 6 seasons here, plus their spin-off of Once Upon a Time Wonderland. I hope you guys enjoyed the tour today. I had fun walking you through, learned a little bit, saw some cool things, saw some cherry blossoms. So I hope you guys really enjoyed today's tour. If you haven't already, this is a new discovery for you. Hey, go ahead and follow me and hit those notification buttons. And if you want to connect with me in other ways, you can find me on Facebook and Instagram under Girl on a Bus Adventures, which is my own company. And I do like travel tips and post articles about places to travel to, and I show pictures of places I've been, tours I've done. Thank you, Kim. Um, the month of March, I always support my friend Katie's nonprofit down in the States in the Charleston area called Katie's Crops. So a percentage of my tips from today, as well as my birthday tour I did on the weekend and the other tours I've done this month, a percentage of those tips are all going towards Katie's Crops. I also do a birthday fundraiser. It's just my birthday on the weekend. Thanks to everybody who came to that tour. That was so fun. First time I've done like a little Q&A tour. And again, yeah, I just want to say thank you so much to everybody for coming out today. I hope you had fun. And hopefully, if it works out, we might be headed out to White Rock next week. If not, I'll pick another community um, outside of Vancouver that's maybe a little closer. I'm trying to find a cool spot in Port Moody to head to because that's a cool little community as well. There's so many places. I don't know, maybe this summer we'll head back to Horseshoe Bay, see if there's less construction going on than there was last summer. That was crazy. And maybe we can do, since I've got a bigger, broader audience now, we might even head back out to New West and find another cool coffee shop and do a tour of that store found that is pretty cool as well. And I'm really trying to kind of branch out and show you even more. Oh, you're welcome, Deborah. More areas. I'm more of an off the beaten path kind of gal. Thank you. So I like to kind of find cool places and cool cities and cool spots and cool things to do. I am super excited. I am getting ready to book my trip to Atlanta in June. And I'll do my coffee shop and history walks tour from there while I'm there. And I'm working on a couple of other cool tours in Atlanta as well because I'm going for a Brooks and Dunn concert. Because that's how I like to roll. Why go to well, they're not even coming to Vancouver, but I've decided that once a year I'm going to go travel somewhere new just to go to a concert. So, thanks so much for coming out today. You guys are amazing, fun, awesome. Thanks for the questions. I do love that blue chat thing because it does alert me. When I'm busy watching all the other things, I find it easy to notice that there's a blue screen. You're welcome, Lorna. So, everybody, have a blessed day. I hope I've purveyed a few magical little moments for all of you today, too. And I will get my next tour date posted right away. And like I said, I'm going to do some cherry blossom walks, kind of a mellow, maybe more of a chat and just enjoy the scenery of the cherry blossom kind of tours. And again, some unique neighborhoods of Vancouver. And with that, go out, enjoy your day, and I'll see you on the next tour. Thanks so much.